Welcome. It's Wakey time. I don't know what episode this is. It doesn't really matter anymore. I don't care. I'll throw a number on it later and a title. But I'll tell you what. I mean, most of you aren't going to make it past this point anyway, 20 seconds. But I've been through the ringer this past week for a few days, whatever it was. I had reached a point in my ascension or alignment or whatever you want to call it that apparently something can happen and you just switch back to your old self, fear, doubt, anxiety, everything. And I thought, man, I lost it. I went backwards and I got to pick it back up again somewhere. But when I get on YouTube now, it's not even algorithm. It's like synchronicity. But I don't subscribe to some of these channels until I do, but I open YouTube and the first next video that pops up is what I need to hear. And it's been that way, and I'll go through a whole day like this and a week like that. And my friend Joshua will send me videos. I won't even watch them right away, but when I do, it's what I need to hear for that moment. I wouldn't have got it 3 days before. Like this turmoil I went through for a few days this past week, when I started watching videos again, the first one explained exactly what I went through. And that I wasn't moving backwards. And that it was time to make another shift. Now it took a few more videos to pop up to explain all that to me, how to make the next shift. It's never a final shift, but it's been a final shift. I could call it that. And what I learned was that it's not just me and Joshua, and I didn't think it was, but there's a whole community of people out there that are going through the same awakening at the same time. And some of them are making videos, and they've been making videos longer than me, or they know how to get them more widespread. I am just a creator. I'm not a marketer, just because I don't want to. Anyway, there's this whole community out there, and we're all moving ahead at God's speed. And I was supposed to go through that turmoil for a few days, and then I was told why and how to shift out of it. And it had to do with the old Eli and the new Eli, and the old Eli has all those fears and doubts and trauma and anxiety and whatnot. And you don't destroy your old self, you just retire it. And there's rituals you can do that, or you just do it. You do it on your own. But so, long story short, I'm the new Eli. Things will be a little different from now on. I see different. I perceive different. Old Eli's retired. You need your old self to get you through survival. But when you don't have to survive anymore, you don't need it. And it's time to trust and let go on the knowledge that you have attained from doing the type of stuff that, that I've been talking about in the videos. And I know I jump ahead in teachings, if that's what this is. I did 13 leading up to explaining meditation. I covered some documents. I don't know, I have to go back and watch them to get some perspective on it, but, as the new Eli. But the thing is that's why it doesn't matter what episode this is. Because I'll keep covering stuff. I'll go back and forth and whatnot. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Actually, I can't even say what I'm going to do in the future because I don't know what it's going to be. So just, strike that, reverse it. But this community of what they say are star seed children, which everyone is. It's ridiculous to think that nobody, we're all born out there. But the ones who are part of this awakening at the moment, everybody will be eventually. The ones at this moment that are involved, one of the videos I was watching was talking about our alien ancestry, our personal alien heritage, our descendancy. Because even though we're born of light, we went through lives that are erotically, that's not the right word, maybe it is, emotionally intertwined with us. What's the word I'm trying to think of? It doesn't matter. Our past selves that were not lives spent on the earth, aliens, were erotically and emotionally intertwined. I still can't think of the other word. But they're part of us. They're as much of our ancestry as a life we spent here on Earth would be. And maybe it's deeper than that. I know I'm reptilian on another frequency right now. Everything's happening right now. Forget about this past, future bullshit. That's what alignment is. You have a wave. You have now. And whenever that wave hits the now line, those are neutral points. Same with the chakras, all that stuff. And those neutral points is when you're in tune with the now. And you can shorten that wave. I don't want to get into frequencies right now, but you can shorten that wave. In fact, that's what meditation does. We talked about beta waves, alpha waves, theta waves, delta being the Christian fish. And the whole point is to collapse that wave to now. And then when you get to now and you can maintain that, then you can choose. You can select which version of you want to be. And I think that's what happened a couple days ago. I'm on the now. I knew it existed. I had gotten there before momentarily. And I knew of the concept, but it really is maintainable, attainable, and I don't know what you'll discover in the now, but speaking of alien heritage or ancestry or what you currently could be on another frequency, back in 2001, 2002, I don't know what it was. I don't want to give a life story out. I know where I was, what I was, and when I was, but it was year-wise something like that. And I went from a high place to a dark place, and I didn't lose my ways. You need those dark places. We did. I don't need them anymore. I don't need it anymore. I made it over. But that night I found myself alone, and I just stood there. Farther than this painting is, I know you can't see it, but I don't know. There was a mirror on the wall. I stood back 7-8 feet, and I stared into that mirror as long as I could. And I actually disappeared in the mirror. Like, what the fuck, am I a vampire? What the fuck? But I was so relaxed in this meditation, I was just like, you know, internally I could hear that, but I was just like, what the, why? Like, am I invisible now? Can I see me? Can anyone see me? But what started to appear where I was standing was this shape. And then down my torso. Like a shadow coming in. When things are on another frequency and you're in between, something might show up as a shadow. Now, it's like you are here where it is. And it is also light like we are. But when you start to see it come into that in-between towards the frequency you were at, it can appear as a shadow. So I had this, you know, hooded snake type Nagas shadow start to appear. And I didn't go any farther than that I know of. I went back till I could see myself in the mirror. And that had confirmed a lot of things in the past that tied me to believing that was part of me. And I had read David Icke's The Biggest Secret. I knew that we had fourth dimensional counterparts, which is us. It's the same being. We are existing not only on these different frequencies, but in the quantum field, you have an infinite number of the versions of yourself that you're living. And that's what I'm talking about with the shifting and the selecting. But I knew for certain from that point on that I was reptilian. I'm going to paint with these off. Like, those fucking glasses need replaced. But my sight has been replaced. Starting with being born in the year of the snake, there's a lot of stuff. When my friend, in 2005, we were in the desert, Coachella, La Quinta, in pool, hot tub, house, everything. That was great. But it's still the desert. We were sitting out on the patio table, one morning, and over there laying on the lawn chairs that like they lay out, you know, that like women lay out on. We're just chilling, relaxing, and the next thing I know, he's freaking out, and I'm like, "What the fuck? What's going on?" He goes over there on the. He used to do this all the time. So back at the house we lived in here, around this area, around these parts. Hey, Bartolomei around these parts. We lived in this house with other friends, and I had this ability where I could meditate and go in between and see things that are there, and you know, obviously I still do. But he saw some figure in the hallway, and it freaked him out, like a ghost or whatever. I said, "Don't freak out, it's fine." I was like, "I'll meditate later before I go to bed, and I'll find out what's going on." And I don't know if it was me visiting myself in the future or an entity I don't know, you know, what it was yet. But I did the meditation and I felt it there, and I opened my eyes. I saw this light being standing there, similar to my height and build. And I said, "All right, I just wanted to make sure it was you." That's what I said. "But you're scaring my friend, so don't freak him out and appear to him. He can't handle it." I said, "All right, I'm really tired. I'm going to go to bed." And I laid down, rolled over, you know, like this. This is the edge of the bed with the rest of the room around it. And it's just like telepathic, but it was like, it seemed like a he came, I knew he was like over me. But I'm like laying there like I'm ready to go to sleep. I don't hear a question, but I answer a question. I'm like, "Yeah, you touch my face." And I just felt this hand touch my face. And I'm like, you know, I'm really tired. Like, it's weird. When the most profound, I got a lot of stories like this. And when the most profound things have happened to me, it's very nonchalant. I know I'm getting this is a sidebar. I'll get back to, what do we got? My friend seeing things. But I was at another friend's house. It was like a townhouse apartment deal. One night, stayed over. Him and his roommate went to bed. Upstairs, different rooms. I was just chilling on the couch, relaxing, letting go. It's dark. I got like, I don't know, Conan O'Brien on or Letterman. I don't remember what it was. And I'm drifting into that state. And here comes down the stairs just this beautiful little girl in a nightgown, you know. All of the detail you would see in color, alive in color. But all is just different shades of golden light. But all the detail, full apparition. Down the stairs, she's holding something in her hand. She comes down, I'm on the couch here, stairs are over there, she comes down the stairs, she heads towards me, doesn't look at me, doesn't acknowledge me. Just totally comfortable, passes the TV and just disappears. Now in the next room, next to the kitchen, there's a wall full of Simpsons toys, these play sets with these little Simpsons characters. And when they're on the play set, they talk. You can hit a button or something and they talk. And I think she was carrying one of those Simpson figures, and I'll tell you why. Now I drifted off to sleep, forgot about it. Next morning, my friend picked me up early. They were still sleeping. It wasn't until a couple weeks later when I saw my friend again. I'm like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you what happened at your house." They were freaked. I think they moved after that. But what he told me was, he's like, sometimes he finds his Simpsons figures upstairs. And the play sets do go off on their own. sometimes. But he said he would physically find his Simpsons figures that he left on display, didn't touch them, upstairs. So it's an example. And intimate, that's the word I was trying to think of earlier. Your alien self is ancestry. All these ancestors that we were, they're intimately connected to us. So, my friend, we're in the desert, Coachella, paradise, right? Out on the sunbathing chairs, you know, he's freaking out. He says, and he's like, there are snake women laid on the chairs. He was really scared, really freaked out. I'm like, all right. I was on some boosters, but I did all this meditation stuff for years before I had tried any chemical substances, natural chemical substances, to see if they were boosters to traveling and not just causing hallucinations the way old scientists used to say. So that weekend, it's later in life. I'm on, we're on some booster Coachella, I'm going to go into details, but I take a deep breath, what I've been teaching you. I went in, kept my eyes closed, and when I opened them, right where those chairs were, this almost like this portal opens up that I can see through. Oh. I'm getting emotional now. Fuck. I know it sounds crazy to whoever, but I don't know why my friend was scared, because she's the most beautiful face. Smile. If you Google Nagas, Nagas, these female, and there's males too. I know I'm not painting, but I'll never forget that face. And I've seen it twice, because a couple years before that whole 2 weeks and Coachella happened, I had lived it all over a full night's sleep of one dream. And I didn't even know half the people in the dream, but they were my friends. When I woke up in the morning, this is around the time I did the mirror thing. When I woke up in the morning after having the dream, I felt and could still see the people from the dream. And I felt like, fuck, those are my friends and I miss them now. All I want. I knew about the future visitation dreams at the time. So I said, all I want is that to be one of those. Prove to me that I'm visiting myself in the future when I go to sleep. Everybody is. I'm not special. And it happened 2 years later, the whole 2 weeks to the T. And I saw my friends again. And I saw her face. And I'm a believer. And my friend's scared because these are Nagas. These are snake women. And it's funny because 2 years prior to that, At a studio in Chillicothe, I recorded a song that I wrote that morning. I took some music from my Korg that I had. My friends were going to record in the studio, and I'm like, well, I'm doing a fucking song. I made hip hop music. I still do. I'm working on it. And I made a song called Monoatomic Erotica, and my friend played drums. My other friend, Jay, played. I think they both played drums. Jay and Nate played drums. Nate played piano. Some girl was there. She sang some backup vocals. I want to say her name was Angela. I don't know. But I made a song called Monoatomic Erotica. And you can look it up. It's on SoundCloud. I see 8 snake bitches wanna get it on, and I love their smooth scales over my body. Yeah, I wrote a song about snake women. Now this was in between having the dream. 2 years, maybe a year or 2 years, and then 2 years. So it was 4 before it actually happened. I jumped 4 years ahead. But yeah, there were Nagas. There were snake women, reptilian women. And when I saw her face, I told my friend very calmly and again nonchalantly, if that's a word, oh, those are my friends. Right now I couldn't tell you their names. But no, those are my friends. They're always around. They're on vacation with us. But and I'm like, I'm going over there. He's flipped out. By the way, I know he had trouble in the past, but Charles, Jason, I love you, and Jay says you're doing all right. I'll leave it at that for now. But yeah, I walked over there. I sat down on the pool, concrete, like there's a swimming pool. Sat down on the concrete next to the chair, and I just sat there. Couldn't see him. Maybe if I wanted to, but just sat there for a little while, hung out with him. I don't know, maybe we talked that I wasn't aware of. I mean, on another frequency, we would have. Obviously we did. Maybe we just stared at each other, I don't know. So, just like him seeing something and me accessing it, same thing. Oh, I did go full circle. Yeah, because I brought up the guy in the house, and then, the Nagas in the desert. And so I know they exist. Why wouldn't I be one? People throw the word aliens around, and they're from other planets, and I'm not here to argue planets, flat versus globe. I got friends. There's good people on both sides. Oh, there's decent people. Fucking people. But they do exist, and they are multidimensional, wherever they come from or whatever the system is. And if we create our own reality, it could be all these things. I mean, I believe a crater Earth theory. Because it's the only one that makes sense, though, when you really get into it. I don't know if the Crater Earth guy is still on YouTube. I'll have to check if he's making new videos. But I downloaded like however many he had up until 6 months ago. Because I'm like, these have to be kept. This is phenomenal. So whether it's planets, physical spheres far away, or projections of those from craters on a much larger Earth than we're told, flat or curved. Sorry, Elon. But maybe he knows, he could be sending rockets over to Mars, to the other crater. When you shine a light in a bowl or a crater, especially if there's water, but it's going to project a point of light in the sky. That's all I'm going to say. But most of the time, if two people are fighting on two different sides, I'm like, where's the top of the pyramid? Where's the top of the triangle? This is what I'm going with. You're both right, and you're arguing with each other, and it's all of these things. So it doesn't matter where they're coming from. It's all here. It's all here. It's all here, and it's all now. And a lot of them, so we're supposed to be shifting where we can receive whatever we want, but we have to be whatever we are and embody it so that we actually receive what we are. And it's what we want anyway, but it's supposed to be for the greater good. And I'm getting a little fuzzy on all that because it's kind of like some stuff that I really, just want. Houses, maybe you get some stuff you want to make you feel good enough that you do something for the greater good of all, because you got to play. I don't know. Every day is a new lesson and journey into the unknown at this point. And the stars were named a long time ago, whether they're way out there or, actually none of that shit fucking matters because it's all within you. The whole universe is a projection from within you, me, and every other living being on this planet, or whatever it is, and everywhere, and the frequencies, and the multiple dimensions, which are the frequencies. I'm just giving you different terms so some people don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know, maybe you do. Y'all could be like so far ahead that you're watching fucking Wakey Time 556. I don't even know because I'm here and doing in the now. And that could be your now. But, so you have Pleiadians, you have people from Venus, you have the whole Eisenhower thing with Thor, Valiant Thor. Go look that up. Eisenhower's granddaughter is still saying it's true. There's Venusian space fleet station on Earth. I mean, Valiant Thor's probably still alive. So you got to go forward with, this is all probably true. Because I know I've seen too much. Maybe that's what I should talk about. I got a lot of fucking stories, man. Stuff I've told you tonight, I didn't really think about broadcasting or planning. I mean, I haven't had a problem telling stories, but intimately connected. So yeah, there are different people from different star systems, different wherever they're from. Some of them are embodying that now. Some of you are embodying that now on a different frequency. And it's infinite. And I don't know where I'm going. I've seen some things. Because when you do the meditation, you do the mind, imagination, impression on your subconscious before you fall asleep. You do see some things. You do live some things. And you do visit yourself in the future. I know I'm not the only one. Yeah, like I know. Like I've talked to people about it. People have written books, journals. We've talked about this. But yeah, you all have an alien heritage, descendancy, ancestry. It's not really alien. It's such an elementary way to look at it. We're on Earth, and there's these other people. No, you have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. All the fucking people. I'm not harping on them. Just thought of this, but all the people Joe Rogan's had on his show, he's still asking questions. It's the only thing I don't get. Maybe it's like for a show, like I'm going to treat this guest the way I treated, but you got to make up your mind. If you want to move forward, you have to decide for yourself, I believe this. There's enough evidence for this, and until something else comes along to say, no, okay, this makes more sense. You got to go with that, and you move forward. Otherwise, you're just going to be swimming, and I don't know what's going on, you know. And I really like to talk to him. I really like to talk to him. And it's already happened. I've seen it. And nobody makes it past 20 seconds in these videos, so I don't feel like I need to say, like, you know, some of you think I'm a fucking crazy person. But if you made it this far, then you know, I'm not. You left at 20 seconds. And I don't care. It's an interesting study on human behavior, but I really don't care. I really don't care. About the numbers. You know, there's people out there that do care. They want to talk to certain people because they want more money, more viewers, or whatever it is. I really want to talk to these people. I relate to them. And I feel like I have something to give. And that's probably what we're going to talk about more And I'll just twist in the scripture, the Quran, the mythologies, the fairy tales and the legends and the meditation. We'll just twist it in, you know. I mean, I didn't really plan on this tonight. I was just like, I need to paint. I didn't do a lot in this video, but I should probably make a video. I don't even know what I'm going to say. And then it just start with this. You need to talk about this. And I got to watch back, but I know I got a lot more out of this than I plan to. And that's what it's about. It's in the now. This is now. Plus, it's just annoying to prepare. I'm picking up information anyway throughout the day. I use some of it. I don't use some of it. It'll come out when it's needed to come out. Everybody needs to tap into that part of themselves that just knows. It's like imagine an infinite number of yourself in the quantum field. Infinite, just tiny little changes to each one, living the life that you're living. And that's just the beginning. We won't even get any farther than that. Every one of those infinite yous has connection to their higher self. Just think about that. I'm going to leave you at that. Think about that. This is It's Wakey Time 27. And I love every one of you. And every one of you that doesn't see these videos, I love you. I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. I'll get more done on Saturday. All right. Good night, everybody.